In this video we're going to have a look at the smallest and the largest value that a number could take after we've rounded it to a certain degree of accuracy. So we're going to have a look at some continuous data, so it's going to be continuous rather than discrete, so something that we measure rather than something that we count. And we're looking at the range of possible values that will get rounded to that number. Okay, sounds a little bit weird. We'll have a look at some examples and hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense. Okay, first example, we have been given a length and we've been told that it has been rounded to the nearest millimetre, and then the length is 114 millimetres. Imagine we've got a piece of wood, we don't know exactly how long it is, but to the nearest millimetre it's 114 millimetres. And what we're interested in is the range of possible values going from the smallest up to the largest possible values that would get rounded to my 114. Let's have a look at my number line. So I've got my 113, 114, 115, and I've marked on my half value, so this is 113.5. 114.5. So anything between 113 and 113.5 will get rounded down. So if my piece of wood is any of those lengths, not interested, it's going to go down to 113. If my piece of wood is 113, well, that's going to get rounded up to 113.5, it's going to get rounded up to 114. Similarly, if it's up to, just up to, but not including 114.5, it will get rounded down to 114. So all of these values in here would get rounded to 114 if I'm rounding nearest to the nearest 1 millimetre. Okay? Just like when we were having a look at our inequalities, I want to put some circles on the end of this range that I'm indicating. So if I want to include the value, I'm going to put a solid circle. If I don't want to include the value, I'm going to put a hollow circle. So looking at my number, so 113.5, that would get rounded up to 114, so I want to put a solid circle above my 113.5. My 114.5 would get rounded up to 115, so I'm not interested in that value. So everything up to, but not including 114.5, I want to include within my range. So anything that's within that range will get rounded to 115. So my smallest value and my largest value, but which I'm not actually including. Let's have a look at another example. In this case we've got temperature, we're rounding it to the nearest degree, and we've been told that it's 27 degrees, so 27 on my number line. So I've got my 26, I've got my 26.5, I've got my 27.5, and 28. So if it's between 26 and 26.5, it will get rounded down, not to my 27, so I'm not interested. 26.5 would get rounded up, so I want that solid circle above my 26.5. Then want to include all of the values up to, but not including 27.5. So 27.5 will get rounded up to 28. Don't want that value. Anything just a little bit smaller than that will get rounded down to 27. So all of the values between 26.5, including 26.5, up to, but not including 27.5. Sometimes we don't round nearest, sometimes we round either up or down, and probably the two most common examples that we can look at, one is something like a car park charge, which I've got here, and then for rounding down we're going to have a look at ages. Let's start with a car park example. So if I park for up to an hour, I'm going to get charged £1. Up to 2 hours I'm going to get charged £2, and up to 3 hours I'm going to get charged £3. So if I want to try and work out the range of possible times I've parked in the car park that I've been charged £3, what are those going to be? So if I park for 2 hours exactly, I'm going to get charged £2. So 2 hours, I'm not going to get charged £3. I'm going to include the values just a little bit bigger, but the 2 hours itself, I get the £2 charge, so I don't want to include that value. Anything just over, as soon as I'm a minute over my 2 hours, they're going to start charging me for the full 3 hours at £3. So all of these values between 2 and 3, I'm going to get this £3 charge. Exactly 3 hours, I get away with £3. It's my optimum time that I spend in the car park if I'm going to pay £3. So all of these values, we're going to describe it as being rounded up. So that all of the values between 2 and 3 are going to get rounded up and treated as if I've stayed there for 3 hours. So 3 hours, and I get the £3 charge. The most common example for rounding down is when we have a look at birthdays. So I'm going to describe it as age 13 last birthday. Normally when you ask somebody their age, they'll say, oh, I'm 13. Even if they're 13 and 364 days, so very close to 14, they don't say, I'm 14. They actually say, oh, I'm still 13. Okay? So 13 last birthday. Well, if it's my birthday today and I'm 13, then I'm definitely going to say that's my birthday. I'm 13 at the moment. All of those values, all of the way up to, but not including this time, age 14. So if it's my 14th birthday, I'm going to say I'm 14, not 13. So I don't want to include that value. But anything right the way up to that birthday is going to be treated as 13. So all of those values between 13 and 14, we're going to round up. We're going to round down to my age of 13 and describe myself as age 13 last birthday. Okay.